I was sitting in bed the other night and I realized mummiform Osiris. Osiris the mummy is always depicted in this very specific way where his elbows are up and the headdress that corresponds to this and the two sides of the corpus callosum. In our excerpt, I think it's discovery number 4, we show that those wings on the side of the Egyptian hat correspond to the corpus callosum, and the two snakes that are there correspond exactly to the amygdala. And that's why those two snakes each have balls on top of their heads, because the amygdala that come out of the side, if you were to cut this again at a cross section where the amygdala is, you see these things that are exactly the shape of those snakes. So I started thinking about the mummiform Osiris, and Ptah is always portrayed as a mummy. So he never has hands, and his legs are always bound together. And that was one of the early, see the mummiform legs corresponding to the Pons. And of all the places, because in Luxor, which is the statue and the symbolism of living man, the arms are down in this very commanding pose, and the legs are noticeably separated. But then when it's talking about mummiform Osiris or mummiform Ptah, you always see this very characteristic thing where his hands are drawn up so that he creates that triangular or rhomboidal. This is interesting too. The monkey, see the bulbs of the monkey corresponding to the bulbs of the thalamus?
Yeah, well, that's Jehudi or Thoth too.
Yeah,
so.
who is specifically divine inspiration and thought. Thoth, I think, actually is the word thought, and people don't talk about that enough. I think that is the word thought.
I mean, it has to be etymologically
related, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, and then this thing here, there's a sort of a weird pattern. Well, anyway, those striations on the Pons, they're depicted in the aesthetic motifs of all of these mummiform wrappings. And the other thing is, when I was researching just recently, when we were doing all that research about the Ida and Pingala, there's actually this whole thing about your parasympathetic and your sympathetic nervous system. One is the right side of the body and one's the left side of the body, and maybe what was being symbolized by the Ida and Pingala. But I'm sure you probably already know this. The crook and flail, one is to pull towards you and the other is to strike out away from you, and kind of the symbolism of yin and yang, or sympathetic and parasympathetic.